call you the Grimps, and because you are the Grimps in so many ways. And
I'm a Grimp. I'm definitely a Grimp.
which Grimp are you?
I'm a little bit of all of them since I created them.
Right.
You know, it's a little bit of the.
But if you were one of them on a daily basis, which one would you think is mostly you?
Honestly, they're all
you.
a little bit a part of me, and a little bit based on, which is part of the project, a tribute to rock and roll and the history of rock and roll.
So can you tell their names?
Sure. Here to the far left is Mac, who's the bass guitarist. Winston, guitar and vocals. Emerson, keyboards and guitar. And Mooney, drums. And their friend, manager, and resident wizard is Magic Alex.
Okay, cool. Now, is there any band that you think they are the most like?
Well, a little
because
bit of everything, but
the keyboards changes that with a lot of the ones you would automatically think
well,
of,
if you're
right?
talking about musical style, that's one thing. As far as when I started to design them and develop them, I mean, I'm a big
it looks like the Beatles,
and
right?
I started there.
But nobody played the
Say that again?
keyboard.
Is Mooney named after Keith Mooney?
Actually, yeah, and that's a good
I would
point.
hope so.
One of the things I did when developing these characters was wanting to be a tribute to rock and roll was to take subtle names from rock and roll. This is primarily meant for a kid's audience, a demo of 7 to 12. And I remember when my oldest son, when he was a kid, the biggest rage in animation at the time was the Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, which one was he?
Well, not after what he was.
Because that's always what they do. I was the purple one.
The one that I really loved, I thought was clever, was how they picked names of Renaissance painters.
Right, Michelangelo.
But the kids just knew them as turtles. I mean, that's what they were.
But
so
they did know their names.
Of course they knew their names, but they didn't know Donatello, Michelangelo,
right.
Where they really came from.
Versace was Donatello, right?
Who?
Versace. Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
I took the same approach with rock and roll, this being somewhat of a rock and roll theme and a storyline that incorporates the Grimps as a rock and roll band.
In this, how many episodes do you have? It is a cartoon.
Well, it's a well-developed cartoon concept, and where I'm at right now, which is why I appreciate being here, is I'm at the pitching stage of getting it out there to networks.
Right.
I've developed a lot of material. We have a huge growing fan base on Facebook and Twitter, and we're right at that point of starting to pitch to networks, and it has a whole music element and a whole storyline, for kids. But we're finding already that the audience is like family entertainment. It's 3 generations. I think it's from 7 to 70 years old.
So, like, who would you mix it with? Like The Simpsons and Scooby-Doo and Family Guy, like all mixed together? I mean,
yeah, mixed with Lord of the Rings, the Beatles, and contemporary rock and roll. We have a whole rock and roll original music element to this project.
Who plays all the instruments?
Right now, we are developing the studio band. We have 1 song recorded, which is our theme song. You can find it on YouTube.
And I think we have it with your pictures.
Oh, great!
Yeah,
great. And besides the show, part of the plan with the Grimps is to present it to the public as an original pop rock and roll band, whatever it is, as a contemporary band. And
so like Josie and the Pussycats?
No. I mean, good music. I'm talking about ouch. I don't mean ouch in a negative way. I'm talking about one of the plans is to work with finding really good songwriters,
right?
Unknown and known, and put them in those songs in the studio and develop.
Now, are there any girls in the Grimps?
Not in the band itself, but there's a lot of characters.
Okay.
There are girls.
Do they have girlfriends or wives or?
We didn't go that far into it yet. Well, they're rock and roll band.
Even though it's
kids, we might have groupies, but we'll see what happens.
Right. Oh, so here they go where?
Well, the idea of the Grimps, the basic story is that they lived 500 years ago, say in the 1500s, around like a Robin Hood era. They were minstrels, and they were very, very popular at their time. And there was an evil wizard named Spectre. And
Phil?
Yeah, Phil Spectre. That's where we get from that. And he cursed and banished them forever to eternity as
And
these
he can't
ugly
see you,
little
right?
monsters, which you can see down here. But it took 500 years where Magic Alex, their wizard, finds a spell to reverse them back to humans, but only from sunset to sunrise, so they can surface as a pop rock band. So that's the kind of
Wait. Sunrise.
Sunset
So they're
to
only
sunrise.
People at night.
At night.
So
It's
are they
like a
like
wolf.
vampires, kind of?
No, they're who they are, but they transform from this to this in the evening. So we have
That's adorable.
a dual life going on here, a scenario. This scenario here to their world, no one knows their secret except for one other person, and this is what they are at night in hopes to become a rock sensation. They're fabulous musicians. They live 500 years. They saw music change from Beethoven to Nirvana and right up to today. The show takes place in present time, but
do they have daytime in the show too? Like so they go back to the
in the daytime they transform back to this appearance, and so there'll be many storylines with them and what they do in the daytime. Like
what are they wearing here?
What they wear here, I got a photo there. They kind of go back into this kind of caveman garb.
Like that?
Yeah,
that's caveman garb.
Yeah, well,
cavemen wore like overalls.
Well, yeah, it's country caveman.
They're adorable.
Really, thank you. And the
did you draw these?
This is my artwork.
So you are a true artist.
Thank you.
I mean, come on. When you were in school, did you used to doodle all the time instead of taking notes?
I started like many kids at 10 years old, just being an avid comic book.
Did you ever do those things on the matchbooks,
draw Winky at the back?
Or whoever, yeah.
The back of the comic books.
Yeah.
Of course. I never heard from them.
Really?
But I pursued that. Went to the School of Visual Arts here in New York City.
Nice.
Graduated from there. And it's funny. From that point on, I started playing drums at 14 years old.
Okay.
And I got
into
music. Yeah, like Mooney and like many others. And I took that road that ended up coming to the GrimPS at the same time. I was a freelance cartoonist, and I was a musician in bands during the late 70s and the 80s, and that kept following that road.
Right, good for you.
Yeah.
And how'd you come up with the name The GrimPS?
I had a working title for the project originally, which was The Trolls.
Okay.
Thinking it was somewhat of a generic name at this time. Finding out that DreamWorks is currently working on a movie with the family from the Trolls dolls from the 60s.
I remember Trolls
with
the hair.
You're right, the long hair.
My brother had a collection.
So I decided I had to change the name.
Yeah, Trolls is too
My attorney said, create a word that doesn't exist. So I started playing around with what I wanted to do and thinking about who they are, and they're a little gruesome and they're a little impish, and I started doing it, and I came up with GrimPS.
It's perfect.
I figured it was short and sweet, and everyone seemed to like it, so I liked it, and I just went from there.
Wow, they're so cool.
Thank you.
So, do you have a favorite?
No, it's just the project is a favorite.
Yeah.
The most fun part is the creating, developing the characters.
Can you tell one little storyline of an episode that you have in mind?
There's just so many. We were looking to storylines to present positive messages to kids.
Yeah.
Somewhat of good morals, but entertaining and fun. Not preachy, not Davy and Goliath of 2014.
Yeah,
if anybody remembers
I'm involved with this now. Guitars Not Guns, and they're in partnership with our show. And when you just said that, it made me think of it because you said you want to give positive messages to kids, and there's the guitar, and maybe the GrimPS can be involved with Guitars Not Guns somehow.
We'll talk about that. I would love to. One of my real hopes is to touch on making an influence on a kid.
Right.
If it gets them to pick up a guitar or want to play piano and learn more about music. I mean, the school system is horrible.
That's interesting because so much music that kids are exposed to today isn't guitars and
it's electronic.
And,
Absolutely right.
So that's kind of a good influence.
Yeah. Well, a really, really fun part of this project, the music element and things that we're still going to be doing and producing the original music, was when I met and spoke with Jack Douglas, I don't know if you know his name, Grammy award-winning producer, who produces Aerosmith and John Lennon and Cheap Trick and many, many of more contemporary bands even today. Just worked with Mickey Mars from Motley Crue. And we sat down, and Jack wants to produce the Grimps in the studio. And I asked him, because I mean, he can pick and choose any project he wants. And he really said that one of the things that interests him is to reintroduce rock and roll to kids.
Yeah.
Because nothing against a lot of the other music now.
Exactly.
There's just a lot of it's all over the place, and the messages aren't really that great, and it's just selling, you know, electronic gibberish in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and you can play Guitar Band or what is
Yeah.
Guitar Hero or whatever. Yeah, like who needs to play guitar? They can just follow it and play it.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of cartoons today. They have a lot of stuff thrown in for adults too. So
they always do.
Yeah. So I guess you're planning on throwing some of that stuff.
Like sexual innuendo?
Well, there'll be a fine line between the scripts, but what we're finding from, which is really, really encouraging, is from our Facebook data, is that we're getting fans from 7 years old to 70 years old.
That's a big demographic.
Yeah, it's big, even though it's, but I think one of the reasons that's happening is that the grandparents are the classic rock generation.
Right.
They are really, really buying into either it's because of nostalgia, or that they think that their kids and grandkids will like it, that they're really, really getting into this. And we're finding them from all around the world. I mean, I'm getting, you know, fans coming in from China, and Alabama, and London, and it's all over the place. So that has been really, really encouraging. And the older generation, I think, can't be anything more than a positive influence on this project.
Right.
I've also had a lot of rock icons that have contacted me that really like the project and they want to be part of it in some way once I get it to that next step, like Todd Rundgren and Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Peter Noon from the Hermits.
So how do you know all these people? Like what made how did these become more than friends on Facebook? You have a big pool of people that.
Well, part of it is my marketing background and the internet, where you could, people are more accessible than they ever were.
So you think it's really, when you write to somebody like that, you really think it's them writing back?
Many times, yes, because a few of them have actually led to sitting down and talking to.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so, you know, wherever that leads with the rock icons and all that, that was encouraging because these are people that I respect from their work and their music. People that I sat in Madison Square Garden when I was 19 and watched them, you know, to a sold-out house of 18,000 people, are now talking about, they're really, really excited about this project. So,
that's great.
You know, I think there's a lot more to come and a lot more people out there like that you know, we're going to have fun to work with.
Well, I hope so, because they're really cute.
Thank you.
They're so cute. Now, we got to turn it a little ugly, just for 5 seconds, because it is National Liquor Day, and it is National World Food Day. So would you please partake in our holidays and share a skeleton from your closet?
Is this iced tea?
Yeah.
From Long Island.
That's too good.
It is. Exactly. Thank you, Otto's and Sophia. Yeah. So, you got any good juicy skeletons in your closet? Just one that you can tell.
I can tell you one.
Great.
Several years ago, a long time ago, when I was actively playing the band, we were playing at Max's Kansas City one night, and we were playing at, on a particular night, and believe it or not, Madonna was, before she surfaced, was playing. We played on the bill with Madonna, and they had these really ugly and cheesy dressing rooms upstairs, but she was just about that point where she was ready to break, so she had a little bit of clout, and so they catered some food for her up there. And we finished our sound check, and we were starving, and I walked through the dressing room just trying to get my gear, and there was all this food for her. And I was starving, and I ate it, so I don't know if that's
good for
you.
She wasn't going to eat it anyway.
Yeah, who knows, but...
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so you ate Madonna's food.
I ate Madonna's food.
Good for you. Good for you. Have some food.
Oh, okay. What do you have here?
like cream cheese and lox and,
Okay.
you know, it's World Food Day. Food from around the world.
My
So-
daughter is studying to be a chef, so I didn't know.
Oh, well, today is supposedly the day that you're supposed to give food out to people in need all around
Okay.
the world. So there should be nobody starving on this day at all. So the website for the Grimps is thegrimps.com.
TheGrimps.com.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook at The Grimps and on Twitter at The Grimps.
Wow, it's so good.
I just finished producing a 3-minute animatic trailer where we bring the Grimps to life a step further. You can find that on the website and an electronic press kit that discusses the project and things like that. So we'd love to people stop by and take a look and give us the comments.
Totally. They're so cute. And what are their names one more time?
Winston, Mac, Emerson, and Mooney. The
Okay,
Grimps.
so try to name what?
I'm sorry. I noticed that all their eyes are different. Is there a story behind why, like, one guy
Well,
has
my eyes are
the
different than your eyes.
well, the googly eyes and the, I guess, sunglasses.
I don't know. When I approach drawing or developing a character, and I have something.
You channel it?
I don't know. There's no particular process. It's just kind of, doodling until I get to something that I like. And,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like
when I
writing a
get-
song. Kind
Yeah,
of.
exactly.
You know when it's done,
Yeah, exactly.
and you know when it's not,
Exactly.
and you just feel it.
Yep.
Exactly, because you're a real artist.
Thank you.
Well, it's obvious. I mean, come on. This project has to work.
What's that?
It has to work.
It has to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
The Grimps will surface.
They will.
Yeah.
I feel like they already have. It's just the world has to catch up to them.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I believe that. I've developed it. It's now just a matter of meeting that next person
Yeah.
who's going to give me the chance to greenlight the project.
Yeah, so if you had a favorite channel, like maybe you might not want to say it, but like, is there a channel that you'd want to be on most? Does it matter?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, I love HBO because they're
Okay.
cutting edge, but they only tried one animated series with Life of Tim and it went off the air real fast, so I don't know what that's about. But the one that I think is really kind of the future of television is Netflix. After
Yeah.
all these years
Yeah.
of building a subscriber base, is
Yeah.
now,
They are
starting
the
original
now.
content.
Yeah.
And, you don't
And
have
now
to
with
watch
these smart TVs.
Yeah. So you don't have to
Get
watch
your
The
Netflix.
Sopranos at Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Whenever you feel like watching
You
The
can
Grimps.
catch up on all your
Bring it up.
episodes. Exactly.
And they're starting a children's division.
The kids are into Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, all the little kids, they're not going to watch TV the way we watch.
And they know how to program way quicker than we do.
They have this chip in their head.
Exactly.
And it's
Cool.
something else. So that's where I would like hope to be, something like
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds reasonable too.
Well, we have a little hurdle ahead of us, but
You're gonna hit it. You're gonna
but
get
maybe
it.
someone's watching tonight, and
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
that can give me a call. So
I
we'll
think
see.
I hope so. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for visiting.
Thank you very much.
Any last shout outs?
Just a pleasure to be here.
Oh,
and,
thank you so much.
Visit
Grimps.
the Grimps. Thank you.
Visit the Grimps. Woo!
That's the Three Stooges.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
That was great.
It was fun.
All night long. We're the Grimps. Winston, Mac, Emerson, and Mooney, clap your hands, everybody sing. Winston, Mac, Emerson, and Mooney, clap your hands, everybody shout.